Well, let's talk about the Giants, right? So the only way to compete against the Dodgers, it's going to be defense and pitching,
Yeah.
right? So you have to slow down. So you need outfielders who are gonna catch the ball.
Giants win! A World Series win for the San Francisco Giants. 1-1 for Dyson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
This is our very first episode of Saturday Sliders. I'm Almar. You see Armando right here. And we're going to talk about Giants and Jays baseball and everything about baseball. You should start, man.
Yeah. Well, let's start about the offseason. It took forever for players to sign, and still
yeah,
some players are still not signed, right? So let's talk about that.
yeah,
What do you feel about it?
because right now I believe Snell's not signed yet. Montgomery's not signed yet. There's another guy. Bellinger got signed, right? So
Yeah, he's on a 3 year contract, which is actually that's actually pretty good because it's gonna put him like just over 30 when
oh,
that
and
contract
there
ends.
and then there's opt out every year, hey?
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
no after the second year, so it's
Oh, is
actually
it the?
yeah, yeah. So he can actually sign. He can sign a long term after this one, right?
Oh,
And that
yeah.
was his, and that was his biggest concern about. That was the biggest concern with teams, right? Because of his injury history, right? People didn't want to commit to him for a long term,
Long term, yeah.
right? So that's what the Giants reported that they didn't want to sign him for a long term if he was only going to be good for 2 years, right? So
I don't even know. I didn't even know Giants was interested in Bellinger.
yeah, like there's been reports like he's just because defense, right? So the
Yeah,
Giants, well, let's talk about the Giants, right? So the only way to compete against the Dodgers, it's going to be defense and pitching,
yeah.
right? So you have to slow down. So you need outfielders who are gonna catch the ball. They're gonna run the outfield, and Bellinger he's a good defensive player, right? So like
And
they
he
were
still plays center fielder, right?
Yeah, he still plays ceiling fielder. The Giants, they have a lot of outfielders, but they're young. They're young. A lot of our
Yeah.
prospects are outfielders. Like Matos, he's a great prospect. He was brought up last year. He played most of the season, but he went through the rookie wall. He went through slumps, but he was out there for his glove, not for his bat, right? Because you're not going to be able to keep up with the Dodgers with scoring.
No, no,
Gee,
I don't think. I didn't think anyone. I didn't think any team can can go
so
toe to
that's
toe
why
with that offense.
So in it shows with all the off season moves that the Giants have made, it has been pitching and defense. The new wave of Giants are in, right?
Yeah.
So like they have shown like it's the next young talent. So we need that veteran presence. That's the only reason it's a veteran third baseman that they can play, because right now we have three prospects playing the infield. You need that veteran presence, right?
And you lost Crawford, hey?
Yeah, that's a tough one because they signed a veteran. They signed a veteran minor contract, but like, why not give that to Crawford? If you needed a
Mm.
veteran, why not give it to Crawford? So right now, this week has been kind of like a Giants fans and Giants fans are not happy. Crawford was looking for like a 5 year contract.
That's too
Yeah,
long.
fi- 1 year, 5 year contract. They didn't want that, right? And they didn't
Yeah.
want the legacy of Crawford to be on the young players. Well, that's what they're saying. We didn't want Crawford's legacy kind of to be a shadow on them if they were struggling. But you still need a veteran backup shortstop.
If Giants want Chapman, how much are you willing to sign him for? In your opinion, do you like a
I
Bellinger
honestly,
type of signing then, like 3 years with opt outs?
I don't. Me personally, I don't think Chapman is the best option. I
Oh,
think
okay.
now, if we're talking about the current free agents, I think pitching is the best thing to go.
Yeah.
right?
So
It's the pitching. I would do a 3 year or 5 year contract to Snell right now. Yeah, he's older, but I think he's the better free agent out there.
it just blows my mind why he's not signed yet. After like a
Yeah,
Cy Young year, that's unheard of.
it is unheard of, and I think it has backfired on all those agents by the same agent, right? It has
Yeah.
backfired, right? But I guess I heard this week that Snell is willing to do a short-term contract. I was like, okay, but nothing has happened, right? So I wouldn't mind. Yeah, 3 year contract for him. That would be great. I prefer going to pitching. I think we have enough position players, right? So I wouldn't go with Chapman, in my opinion,
Okay.
right? So,
That gets Chapman to the Jays again.
yeah, like
no,
why? What? He
no
just
one
doesn't
wants
want to
him.
play. He just
No,
doesn't want to go back, or what is the
no
Jays?
one wants him there.
Oh, no one wants him there.
He struggled mightily last year after like a hot start in April. He struggled all the way through, and people saw that. But he has still a good glove. But like you said, if you can't produce at a high
Right.
level, like you're supposed to have like 25 to 30 home runs on that position, right? So
Third baseman is just clear with Smitch being there, being the Nets' young Giants wave. They're counting on him a lot, right? So
yeah.
I just don't think like, and he has shown the bat, he has shown flashes on the glove. So I just think like, why bring up Chapman in when you have somebody that he needs playing time to get better, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense because the
Yeah.
Jays, I think they're going to be rotating three third basemen this year.
Yeah, so I think that's just like, yeah, that's just the Giants. It's like the Nets talent, it's here, right? So it's kind of like,
Yeah,
and I think that's just kind of been kind of like the last couple of years. We the Giants have had subpar years, except for the 107 win, right? But the next two, we're gonna give our minor league system to catch up so they can
yeah,
come up, right? So, and of course, some of them did because of COVID. It did actually hold them back a little bit, right? It's almost like it was a lost season
yeah.
for a lot of the minor league players, right? So it's kind of like, but now the Giants kind of like, okay, you have had 3 years now since COVID. It's time to produce.
You get lucky with your pipeline there. I'm
Yeah.
so jealous.
Well,
I'm so jealous.
it's kind of like,
Giants always have good pitching.
yeah, like the thing is like we can't Giants can't seem to actually get star players to come and play, right? So
That's true.
we have to depend on our farm system, right?
Yeah,
We have to replace them, right? So it is, but it is hard because you see when the veterans, when it's time for them to their end of the career, it's hard to say goodbye to them, right? And over the years, we have Giants fans had to to say goodbye to a lot of players that fans have loved, right? So like
yeah,
with Tim Lincecum, it was hard to say goodbye to them, right? Matt Cain, like
yeah.
they all came, like Paulo Sandoval, like, he's back, but like it was hard to let him go at first, right?
That's true.
And Belt, like this, and now Crawford and Posey, it's kind of like they all came together at the same time.
Yeah,
Now it's kind of like it was hard saying goodbye to them like year per year, right? So and now it's Crawford, so it's kind of like it's hard. Especially Crawford is different because he's actually a Bay Area kid. He
yeah.
grew up being a Giants fan, so it's a little harder to say goodbye to him.
The
We're
last
trying,
World Series you had.
no, we're coming into no 2015 was the
Did
last
you
one.
you won 2015?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you won every other
yeah,
year, right?
So that was the last season. We're coming into the 10-year reunion now of the last championship, right? So that was like that Crawford and Belt, right? That was the young guys who
Oh
carried.
yeah, I forgot. That was the Mad Bum
Yeah, Mad
three
Bum.
inning save.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that was another player we had to say
yeah.
goodbye. Mad Bum, right? So he
Yeah,
was.
I do remember because
Yeah,
Jace was in the playoffs that year.
yeah.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
So it's kind of like we just have to say goodbye to a lot of the players, right? And like the Giants model, like they don't want to sign players when it's their last stretch, right?
Oh
They just
yeah.
just don't Giants don't sign players when it's the end of the career. They just don't, right? So it's kind of like I seen it throughout the '90s and early 2000s, and now like they just kind of like when there's like you have 2 more years at best. We prefer not getting you, right? So
So you start crying 2 years
oh yeah,
before.
it's emotional. But now, yeah, so like we have to, Giants fans are usually just saying goodbye to players, right? So, but it gets a lot of people this week in the Bay Area. Like, there are a lot of people really mad. It's like, okay, this is a young team, but who's going to be the veteran leadership?
Yeah.
Like you
Maybe
bring it
maybe you
back.
can sign maybe you can sign Belt again.
Yeah. Well, no, he's still with the Blue Jays,
No
right? He
no
signed a
no,
contract.
he's a free agent. He signed with the Jays but 1 year.
Oh, okay. I thought he
Yeah,
was a
he's a
two-year contract.
no, he's not under contract.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So has he signed
No,
somewhere?
I don't think he has signed yet.
Oh, he had a pretty good year in the second half of the season, Belt, for the Jays.
Yeah, he did good for like a stretch there, but come playoff time he just fizzled out. So
Yeah,
he couldn't
it's
catch up to the fastball, I think.
and yeah, and that's just the injuries, right? And we saw that like 2 years ago with the he just kind of like he just struggled catching up to
Yeah,
the fast. He
yeah,
was like,
it was bad. It was bad towards the end there, especially the playoffs.
yeah.
Because he was hitting in the two spot for the Jays.
Oh, but he had a
Yeah,
good like when I was watching a little bit of the Bells in Toronto, but like he did struggle mightily to start the season, but then he was catching on. He was getting the walks, you know.
yeah,
So and then he got hot, right? So but no, it was hard seeing him in a different uniform, right? It's always hard when you see them.
yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think that the Jays their
The
record
Jays,
will be? What do you think? What do you think? What do you see in the Magic 8 Ball? What do you see? The
I
crystal
Magic 8 ball.
well, crystal ball. What do you think the
they,
Jays season will be?
they have a pretty good rotation, but they, depending on the rotation to be as good as last year, maybe their downfall, in my opinion. Because they haven't signed any player insignificant. They,
All right.
like I said earlier, they're planning to rotate three guys in third base to replace Matt Chapman, which is not good.
Yeah.
And you have like the defense would be still good, but depending on those to duplicate the following year, it's bad. But they have like four good starting pitching, so I don't mind. But we still need hitting, right? So we're probably still behind um Orioles, Yankees, and Tampa.
Really, you think you're behind the
Yeah,
Yankees?
yeah.
Why is
I
that?
think
Just because of power or because
it's
of the offense?
the offense. Yeah, I
Okay.
Soto scares me.
Like as much as the Padres season was a disappointing, Soto actually had a pretty good year. Like
Yeah.
it was just
Mhm.
quiet, right? So it's like because it was just a train wreck for the Padres. But watching him, because obviously the Giants, same division as Giants, like he actually did pretty good. Like
Yeah.
they played 19 times, right? So we saw them quite often, right? So I think he out of those big three, like Machado and Tatis, I think Soto did the best out of those three
Yeah.
against the Giants, right? So for some reason, Machado struggles against the Giants. The Giants know how to pitch to him, so
Yeah.
he goes in a big slump when he faces the Giants.
No one's scared. No one's scared with Machado anyway, even when he was with the Orioles.
Right.
Okay,
So
there's no picture that scared of him.
yeah. So yeah, Soto. I think he's still good, but I think just because of the way the last 3 years he was supposed to be the biggest free agent out there, and they were talking about big contract. He hasn't lived up to the expectation of that hype. It kind of cooled down, right? So,
Yeah.
but he's used to playing on the East Coast. He could have. It's a shorter outfield too in Yankee Stadium, so he could have. A, That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
I'm expecting like 45 home runs
Yeah.
from that short field.
Well, yeah, I was actually thinking high 30s, like 37. I could probably see that. Yeah.
They we'll go over it all towards the end of the
Yeah.
year. Who's
But
closer? So you're 37, so I'm
I
like
think
45.
37 months. Yeah.
Okay.
But it depends.
Remember he'll
Yeah.
be hitting in Yankee Stadium, and then he'll be hitting the pesky pole too.
Where is he sitting? Is he batting third or before Judge or after Judge? Where is he?
I haven't seen they played the Jays today, so but
Oh,
I didn't see the rotation the
the
lineup, so
okay, that's a good question. Where will you put him, right?
I'll probably put him behind
I think so
Judge.
too. I think I will put him in the
Yeah, because
uh,
Judge is
fourth.
I believe Judge is quicker on the base paths
Yeah,
than Soto.
definitely put him in behind, batting fourth, right behind. So I think that will be really good. So,
Yeah, it'll be good. So yeah,
well, so
I'm
you
the
have them. You have Tampa first, Yanks, and then
ah
Baltimore. Where's the standings there? What's
the
the position?
the rankings. I see Baltimore winning the division actually. I see them. They're young. Their pitching's good. Well, they lost their closer, right? So, but
Right,
they have good hitting. So, they'll be good for a long time. So I take them first, and then probably Tampa, Yankees, and then Jays. But like I
right,
said, we like if the Jays don't have to reach that expectation like last year, which is good actually. People were expecting them to win the division last year, and they just fell
right.
apart.
So do
So
you think the window is closing on the Jays, or can they still compete for the next couple of years, or is that kind of
w-
last year was their mark? Like,
I believe this is their window because they still have to sign Vlad Jr. Right? They just went to arbitration, and I didn't think it went well. So
yeah, I was actually watching a little highlights yesterday. He looks a little faster, like running the bases, Vlad.
he's still not running that well on the base pad. He almost got out.
And so when he was in the MVP conversation, that's when he said, yeah, I lost like 15, 20 pounds, right? So, and
Yeah.
then he came back, he was a little kind of more heavier, but he looks a little bit more shaped this spring, right? So,
Hmm. Well, first
but
baseman, yeah, first baseman doesn't need to
yeah.
get fit, right?
But I think actually, I think that's the team that out of the East I want to see is actually Baltimore. I want to see if they improve, right? Because last year there was a great season.
Yeah.
After so many years, all those draft picks, like all those prospects, they were able to put a good season, right? After so
Yeah.
many years of disappointing, right? So, but they cool off at the end of the season, right? It was too much for all those young players, right?
That's true.
182 plus the playoffs, right? They just kind of like run out of steam, right? But
Yeah.
now some of those players are coming to second or third year now, so now they know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of condition you have to be, kind of like it's a long season, right? So it's like, especially in those August games, right in the middle of the summer, it's kind of like, oh, so you already been playing for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like after the All Star, right? Kind of like the hot days of summer, right? So it's kind of like, but now they know what to expect, right? They
That's
know
true.
what
Yeah.
playoff baseball is like. They know, like, okay, we're going to be competing against the Rays, who are the top of the division, right? So, and the
Yeah.
Yanks,
But it won't surprise me if they struggle a bit this year. But yeah, I'm
right?
still putting them up
Just
for the
because of
division
the
title.
expectations were so high. Like
Yeah,
they want to,
the high expectation, and like you said, relatively still young
yeah,
players,
they're a young
right?
team, right? So they actually kind of will benefit from a veteran presence, right? Somebody from free agent or mid-season trade to get a veteran and kind of teach them how to be professionals, right? So
Yeah, they can bring back who's that first baseman they're still paying. Do you do you remember?
Yeah, oh yeah. What was it, Jones? What is it?
No, no, no. Jones is the center fielder. I can remember.
Oh, that is true. That's just yeah, the power
I,
hitter, right?
I know his first name Chris, but I can't remember his
Yeah,
last.
Chris. Yeah, that was
Uh,
right. They're still paying him. That's is that
yeah,
possible?
yeah. I just searched it. It's Chris Davis. They're still
Yeah,
paying
Chris
him.
Davis. There you go, Chris Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he's still getting paid.
Yeah. he's the
In fact,
he's the next Bobby Bonilla.
it's
The
gonna
the
be
pitching
tough
is
now,
the,
right?
the
So,
pitching is still because they still have Gossman. They still
yeah,
have Bassett, Berrios, and then they still have Kikuchi, right?
yeah,
They're still looking for that fifth starter, but
yeah.
like Mano was coming in like really fit, but he struggled his last start. This the spring training start.
Right.
It
I
wasn't good. It was ugly.
according to the Major League projections and stuff, like they still have the Blue Jays as favorites in the East, right? So not to like to contend, right? So yeah, like they just need some couple missing parts, right? So yeah, probably third. I think third or second. I think that's really good, right? So I'm not really big on the Yankees, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of like you do at the end of the day, you do need that rotation, the defense. I mean, the pitching staff, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're deep in pitching,
Oh,
right?
okay. Outside
So
of
I think they just kind of like, yes, you have all this firepower, but they get hurt a lot. Like Yankees, they just get hurt a lot, right? So
that's
it's kind
true.
of like,
Yeah.
so I just think yeah, they're gonna be for the way I see it, the Yankees are just gonna have to outscore everybody too.
Yeah, I
Right?
just don't want the Yankees fans just screaming at us on our first episode.
Right.
Well, we have to be nice to them right now.
Well, I can see them in third, the Yankees a little east. So
Yeah,
I can see them
it'll
in
be
third.
tight. It'll be
Yeah,
tight. It'll
it's
be
gonna be
tight.
tight, just like last year, right? It's gonna be tight. I'm not sure what Boston is doing. They just
I don't
for some,
know. They just fell apart. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
but it's kind of crazy because they unloaded the payroll quite a bit, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
like
They didn't sign anyone. Like
yeah, like it's kind of like it's kind of you're not used to seeing Boston being so cautious about contracts, right? So they're just kind
yeah.
of always a big spender, always competing, and all of a sudden, just like whoa, where's the star power now in Boston? Like they're not there anymore, right?
No, no, they don't even blink. Because
Yeah,
before they compete against Yankees, even if just to drive the price up.
yeah, exactly.
So how's your spring training? How's the Giants spring training? I haven't really looked at it closely.
Oh, they won their first game in the spring,
Yeah,
early spring, right? We still have a whole month, right? But like that today was the first win, and it hasn't been good. Like a lot of the media and
yeah,
some Giants media and Giants fans are kind of like the expectations are high. They're kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you guys not winning, right? Even the
yeah,
coach, the new coach, Mel Gordon, like he's saying like he's been kind of like yelling at the team or saying them after the game, so like poor effort, we're not playing good. So like kind of like you're setting that expectation. It's kind of like the coach. It's a new coaching staff, but they're putting their expectation just because it's a new team put together. New coaching staff doesn't mean like
yeah,
we're gonna let those players just. We're not gonna challenge you guys, right? So it's kind of like it's different from the last couple of years because of yes, wins don't count in the spring training, but we still want to see good effort, right? It's kind of like you're saying, we want to see
yeah.
good effort, and it hasn't been good effort, right?
Oh, okay. I understand that. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
so it's kind of like, and also like the media and fans feel the same way. It's kind of like, yeah, like we want to see a good product, right? Because it's been kind of like the last couple of years, it hasn't been a good product in the field,
yeah. Mm,
and we want to see kind of like fans want to see effort, right? Like I think this. I think it's still an 88 win team. I don't think.
88 win. You're tough, man. You're tough.
I think. I think it's the same records last year. I think it's going to be a 500. 500 teams, 500 record. I think it's going to be the same thing.
You
I
still be
don't.
behind the D-backs then, you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like probably Giants will probably see them third in the National League West. I can see them third or fourth. I think it's going to be the same thing as yeah. Dodgers
I
obviously
I
going to
I
be
I I
first.
don't see the Padres surpassing you without Snell
No, I don't see
and
the.
Soto. Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, so I don't think the Padres. I think the Padres are just going to degress as well. Like one playoff season, and they thought after they beat the Dodgers in that series, they thought they were celebrating, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like so. Yeah, so I think it's going to be third or fourth. I think right. So I just don't see. Arizona's a good team. They were kind of like they had to clean out house a lot for a lot of the years, right? Like
Yeah.
it was a bad organization, but there's some really good players on there. Like it's kind of like and it's a mixture of veterans and young players,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think the Giants. I see them as much as they're a different team, and everybody's saying like, "Oh, this is a better team than last year." They pick up more pitching, and they sign up the Korean player, which he homer a couple days.
Yeah, he
Yes,
did. He did 2 days ago.
yeah,
2 days ago. Yeah, I saw it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's fast. He's quick at the box. Like he's like you can see that like excitement. I was like, okay, like we might have something there, right?
Yeah, I like
It's
that signing. Did you like the Soler signing?
yeah, that's a good one. So it's kind of
Okay.
so I think, but I still think yes, it might be a better roster than last year, but I still think it's going to be an 88 win team. So okay, 19 games against the Dodgers. How realistically, how many games are you going to take away from the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like I don't think they're gonna split the series 8-8, right? Or 9-9, right? I don't think it's gonna happen, right? So I think they're probably gonna
Win four.
yeah, win four, right? It's kind of like
Yeah.
that's just kind of like when you play that team so many times, right?
Well,
So
you'll still be
in
happy if you
Arizona,
win
right?
4 out of 10. Hey, you'll still be happy if you win 4 out of 10 against Dodgers, right?
Yeah, I guess. So it will not be like so. It's a little too early for Dodger talk. So, I prefer talking about the Super Bowl than the
We're not
Dodgers.
talking about football now.
But Arizona, that was the first time. I think they were saying that that was the first time they against Arizona that we had a losing record against, or either a 500 record against Arizona or a losing record against Arizona. That
Uh,
was the first time, like in 20 years, we just always beat up on Arizona. And last year we struggled against Arizona, so it's like it was a very tight
even
race.
with Randy Johnson and Schilling there, you beat them.
Oh yeah, they were like we
Really?
competed
Hey?
because against that time it was Giants and Arizona going back and forth for the division, right?
Yeah. Hmm. It's pretty
So I
young
still
team too. Yeah.
yeah, so I think it's going to be some, especially again, right? It's a young team with a lot of our prospects being called up last year, so it's just going to be a young team. I think they're going to struggle. So it's going to be really, it's going to be, once again, it's going to be on the Giants pitching to keep them in.
Yeah.
It's going to be the bullpen, keep them in games, not blowing up the lead or whatever, right? So it's kind of like, and play defense, right? So they're
Yeah.
preparing, like they built this team to be a low runs, 2-1, 3-1 kind of ball games, right? Tight games, right?
So
So
so I guess everyone it'll be like 2-1, 3-1. I guess the Dodgers be like 10-2.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of sucked too because Otani, right? It's kind of like he's such a lovable person, right?
Yeah.
Everybody likes him. He has a lot of charisma. He loves the attention, but he just plays for the Dodgers, which is kind of like you just kind of like you want to root for him, but it's kind of like now you kind of like some people are just rooting against him now, right? Because of
That's
the
true.
what he
Yeah.
did off season, right? So I think it's kind of like now that baseball has started, a lot of things have cooled off with him. not so many baseball fans are mad no more, right? Because back in January, like there was a lot of baseball fans mad, right? Even
That's
old
true.
players. There was a lot of just bad feelings, bad taste against Otani, right? You
Yeah.
know, the way it went down, you know, like the whole media signing with the being on the plane to go to the
Yeah,
Toronto,
I know
right?
that. Yeah,
Right?
it didn't go well with all the Jays fans.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like well, that happened to with Judge too, like a couple 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
remember
like
that too. I remember that too. Yeah,
right, like I remember,
it was already signed.
yeah,
It was right
we
there.
it was kind of like, but like we saw like this year when Otani when we heard like because we text we were like it was like oh congrats on Otani man like that's
Yeah.
exciting right, but like I remember the following day tuning into Giants radio. And the first thing they said, like, wow, we feel bad for the Jays fans right now. Like, we know how
You
that feeling is
I know.
after Judge, right? We know that feeling, right? So, but it does stink because we made the same offer for Tani. Tani's camp say like this is what we want. We gave him the years. He asked us, "Will you defer the contract?" We said yes. Pretty much, it's the same contract that the Dodgers offer him. He just needs to
Oh,
choose. He just
yeah.
needs to choose which team he wanted. Now, obviously, the whole time he wanted the Dodgers. Like, but why? Why stretch it out for months then? Why?
That's
Right? Like,
true.
yeah, what? It wasn't a Tony watch. It's kind of like, why? If you knew that you were going to sign with the Dodgers, why not do it sooner?
Well, I think they're trying to like squeeze all the money that they
So
can
it's
get
kind
from
of
the Dodgers. Because if you're the player and you say, "Oh yeah, I want to go to the Dodgers," Dodgers will be like, "I'll pay you a penny."
yeah, that is true, right? But like you, even when he said like I'm gonna sign from this day, like we still waited like a whole other week or whatever weeks it was,
That's
right? Like
true.
he was just keeping everybody, he was just keeping everybody on their like just on the time watch, which is kind of like it drove a lot of people mad, right? And players wanted to, even the players was waiting for Otani to sign so they could get signed, right?
That's true. Yeah. Hmm.
Right. So it just kind of made a lot of people kind of upset, right? So and now, like, yes, and now a lot of people, players, teams want to play the Dodgers because it's kind of like
Yeah.
now that it just become the evil empire, right? So
Yeah. It's like the new Yankees now.
exactly, there are the
Yeah.
new Yankees, and
Spending
so
all those big money.
that's why, like, it's like, well, why has the Yankees won? Because yeah, because they actually made some really bad contracts for a lot of
That's true.
years,
Yeah. Wait.
right? So
Now we just have to wait 10 years.
exactly, exactly. In 10 years, they're gonna be suffering,
For as long
but
as he plays all the. For as long as he plays all through that 10 years, like I'm happy for Otani. No bad feelings.
no, like it's no, I'm happy for Tanya, right? It's like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Man,
it's
I cannot wait for the Dodgers to play the Jays. They're playing in April in
oh
Rogers
really
Center.
nice.
They are playing the Jays in
But like
April.
I'm happy for Tanya. He's out of like Anaheim, right? Like it's just kind of like he was just stuck in a bad organization. Now he can compete.
He won't be
He
able to pitch this year, right? He won't be
no
able to pitch
this
this
year
year.
this year
Mm.
so he's a DH, slowly DH.
Still, 40 home runs.
Yeah, so we'll see. Like he's gonna be in a good team, right? So it's just bad that he's with the Dodgers. So
So where
that's
do
just
you put him in the lineup with the Dodgers then? Because Mookie will play lead off, I
put him
think,
sec. I'll put him second.
ahead of Freeman.
Yeah, I'll put him second. I think
Oh, okay.
he's kinda like he can run the bases, right? He's a really smart, so he can put
Yeah.
the ball in place, right? So he can. He's not just a home run hitter, right? So like I think if you put him in second, just to advance the runner or get a double right, and then have Freeman and that power. If Betts gets on, let's just say draws a walk or a single, whatever. Man, like with behind Otani behind him, like just advancing the runner to third very quick. That's just right there, right?
Yeah. So would you play him back to back with Freeman, two lefties, or you break it up with Muncy?
Monte has
Is
proven to to be a really good player behind all those stars, right?
Yeah,
So
it'll be
must
interesting. Yeah,
be good. That's so interesting, right? So where do you put him in that lineup?
I play him the second, like you said. That's a good spot. That's a good spot for him. Yeah.
Is there any other team that you're kind of intrigued by outside of your division, or
Well, AL Central will be AL Central. Let's be honest. Someone else will take the division with like subpar subpar
well,
season.
the Mets?
AL West will be won by Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Maybe Houston. Maybe Houston because
What do you think?
Houston's
Like,
still good.
would the Texans, is that a one season only? Like, or can they repeat the season they had last year?
They could probably repeat if they don't blow all those saves.
And there's a new manager in Houston, right? But Houston still has a good team, so they're going to be competing,
Yeah.
right? So
And you still have the farm system, Oakland A's,
uh,
right? So
yeah, I think I really like Atlanta. I think I've been kind of high on Atlanta the last couple of years, right? So I just think that they're young, still young team, but they're really good. So
yeah.
I just think they're what they did last year with Olsen, just being a really good pickup from the A's, right? So it's kind of like,
Yeah. Mm,
like if they can just stay healthy, because a couple of years they have had bad luck, right, losing players to injuries, right? But
yeah.
I think Atlanta's still really. I think they're going to be Atlanta and the Dodgers at this point. They're kind of just competing against each other, right? So they're really the powerhouses. I mean, the
The-
National League.
And then the Central. How good
Yeah,
is the Brewers? The Brewers, I don't get what
I feel
the
like
Brewers are doing.
they're kind of in decline now. I think their window has closed, right? So
Because it's still wide open in the Central there.
yeah, so the Cubs, they had a really good season last year, right? So
Yeah. Hmm.
well, a better season, right? So and that's probably because Bellinger was healthy.
That's true.
So we'll see if they can repeat it. Like we'll get have a good season again.
Yeah,
The
I don't
Card,
know. I don't know about the Cubs because they didn't resign Stroman, so Stroman's off to the Yankees, right? So
I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals. With their rich history and always competing, like they just had some really disappointing seasons, right? So
yeah,
like 3 years in a row, they just have not been able to put what they were accustomed seeing, right? So like we're accustomed St. Louis to always be winning.
do you see
It's not like
anyone? Do you see any team in the NL beating Dodgers? Atlanta will
I
be
think
up there.
Atlanta, I think
Atlanta would be top. Yeah,
I think Atlanta and Dodgers will be competing all season. I just think,
I think minus the injuries, I think Dodgers will be up there.
yeah,
If they're healthy at the end of the year, I think they'll win the NL. I think.
yeah. I think like the expectation for the Dodgers, it's over 100 wins, right?
Yeah,
Right. Like I heard, like I think like I think they were expecting 108 wins. I think that's what they expect. Like their what the major where I saw their rankings or their record predictions, it's going to be 108 wins. So that's
yeah,
their expectation already. So it's already high.
that's
So I
true.
think
Yeah,
if they don't win over 100, or if they win like 92 wins, like it's gonna be like kind of like it will be a disappointing season, right? Like it's gonna be
that's
like
true.
that's gonna be
I
the media will go crazy if they win under 100 games. It's gonna be like there's gonna be
imagine if they start slow, eh?
exactly there's so
If
many people already saying like if they go off to a slow start, it's gonna be in the headlines every night, right? So
everyone will have a heyday with them.
yeah, exactly. So right, so you can. I hope so. I hope so. And they
That's
already know
true.
like everybody who faces the Dodgers this season, they're gonna attract baseball fans or just fans in general. They're gonna be
Yeah,
selling, and so it's gonna be a big series every game, right? Every series is gonna be big because of just the expectations on the
yeah.
road or at home, right? So like you're already saying, like Jays they're playing in Toronto in April, right? So there's already a
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, they're. Did you hear that? Mookie
yeah,
Bet said every team they play, it'll be their World Series, right? We'll see.
exactly. It's gonna have that atmosphere, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like yeah, like oh, did you hear about that? I heard
Nah.
yesterday that talk about cheap tickets. Phillies had like a special on Wednesday nights, dollar hot dogs.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
and they're taking away after like 20 years. They're taking that promotion now, and they're
No
taking away
more hot
Wednesday
dogs.
because they were like I guess last year they were throwing hot dogs out in the field or opposing players or whatever they were doing. So the Phillies they said like they were taking away the dollar hot dogs away.
No,
But now, like on Wednesday nights, there's still gonna be a hot dog promotion. It's kind of like 2 for 5.
no.
Yeah,
That's why you go to the ballpark for those hot dogs. I didn't even hear about that. Holy.
it's pretty funny. But I guess it was a safety concern. Fans throwing hot dogs.
That's funny, asshole.
But never once occurred me to throw the hot dog to the field.
Well, if you're mad, you're mad, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like. Well, Philly fans are just different, right? They just
Yeah, they're a different breed.
also because there was talks about Harper wants redone. He wants to redo his contract. There was a report saying this year, I mean this week, saying that he's not happy with his contract no more because he's not the highest paid. Like now, when he first signed that 13-year contract, he was the highest player ever. But
Yeah.
now he's 29th on the list now.
Alright, because
Uh,
you see how the players are still unsigned.
right.
And
So
they did great last year, so yeah, it's tough.
it's a tough one, especially when the like yeah, like you're saying, like there's some players who are still not signed, and I think it shows that the owners are ball organizations want a little bit more of the power, right? Of the
Yeah.
control of contracts, right? So yeah, maybe play it out how this goes, but I don't see the
I
Phillies
don't
want to.
even see. Yeah, I don't see Phillies overtaking Atlanta in that division anyway.
Yeah, so
Uh,
but I don't see the Phillies. Oh, breaking news!
what
We have
happened?
breaking news.
What? Oh, you broke it? What did
Yeah,
we break?
Matt
What?
Chapman to the Giants, 3-year contract,
Hey, I was just telling you. Hey, look at
50,
that.
54 million.
How do you feel?
Oh man, that is very well. Once again, it shows you that they're
3 years, 54. I like that actually.
the rest of the players they wanted a long contract, but teams are not willing to offer them. Right,
No.
have to go on a 3 to 5 year contract now. If these players, the remaining players, if they want to sign, they're gonna have to do it for less.
So it's the same thing as Bellinger. Did you
Yeah,
see it?
it's a real, yep, it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's the same thing. Opt out after each year.
Interesting. So he comes back to the Bay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
See, like I told you, you just won't don't like him. Now you have to like him.
Well, now
Hey,
let's just
hey,
work. Let's just work on signing Snell. That's what I
hey,
want,
hey, hey,
right?
bro. First episode and we're breaking news.
If we can just have Snell breaking news now, that'll be great.
Yeah, icing on the cake, right?
Yeah, back to back, Giants are making news. Like
So
that's just.
you sign Chapman now, so it's now a 90 win Giants team now instead of 88.
I'm still going 88. I'm still going 88. If they
Eh,
can get
the-
Snell, then it's a 90 win. I could, well, I
Improves your
guess,
defense. Improves your
yeah.
defense
Well, that's what
incredibly.
the
So
Giants need to do. They need pitching and they need defense. That's all they need, right? I'm good.
platinum glove,
Yeah,
platinum glove at third base. After you lose Crawford, that's
yeah,
big on the left
yeah.
side of
That's
your
big, yeah.
field.
Put like a 3-year contract and an older pitcher, like because that is getting up there in age, right? So it's kind
Yeah,
of like so, and especially he has a lot of miles in that arm, right? He pitched a
that's
lot in
true.
his playoff runs and like for the Rays, right? So
Yeah.
so he has a lot of mileage, but he's still very good. He 3 to 5 years, I would be happy with
Well, I'll be happy with the 3 years, 100, and
Yeah,
then opt out every year. Because
yeah,
if it doesn't work out this year, he'll just opts in, right?
exactly.
But
Right? I think the same thing. So I think the Giants have the payroll. They need pitching. So there's no reason why the Giants can't sign.
stop
So,
dreaming. Well, you got Chapman.
yeah, he comes back to the Bay
Yeah.
as the A's are leaving.
Maybe he wants to say goodbye, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he just wants to say goodbye to. Well,
But
I guess now the Jays have to count on that rotation
I
for
know,
the,
yeah. Uh,
and all veterans for the third base, or is there like a
yeah,
top prospects?
no, it's not even prospects. No, not even prospects. No.
Veterans, okay.
Yeah, it's Santiago Espinal and then IKF.
And
It'll be tough.
Vlad can't play third.
I don't think they're moving Vlad. That'll be a bad idea though. So
Okay,
yeah, because no one will play first.
right.
Because they like people are hopeful that if they sign Bellinger will move into first, and then they can move Vlad at the third base. But it doesn't really make sense. So you sign Matt Chapman now. Would you rather had Bellinger sign the same contract then?
Yeah, I would.
I had like you would pick Bellinger ahead of Chapman.
Yeah, in my opinion, yes. Just because he's really good at his defense, right? Yeah, he had injuries. He struggled the last 2 years with the Dodgers, right? He just didn't have the power,
Yeah.
but his defense uh, fielding did not suffer, right? He was, yeah, his numbers went down, but his glove did not. So
You're still not happy with Matt Chapman.
no, it's growing on me. It's growing on me just because, well, three young prospects, right, in the infield. It's kind of like, oh, that's a lot.
You're still not convinced.
Trying to convince myself. That's what I'm doing.
We were
I think,
just talking about it and then you signed them.
yeah, there's still a 50-50 chance on Snell signing with the Giants, and she said that Giants are still pursuing Matt Chapman. So, which that was correct. So,
Hey, hey. Hey, one can dream, right? One can dream. That's good. Good signing, Matt Chapman. Sleep on it. Sleep on
yeah,
it.
breaking news. Now I gotta go to check out the reports. What are they saying? What do Giants fans feel like right now?
Oh well, we have a topic for next week.
Okay, yeah.
What Giants think about that Matt Chapman?
Well, you're gonna maybe next week you're gonna hear me say like this is the greatest signing. Good job, Giants. But you say like he's had a couple bad seasons like in
No, no,
Toronto
no.
with the bat.
Last year
Like
wasn't
what's
that
last year?
good. 2023, he had a down year. 17 home runs, 240 batting average. The defense was still good, but he was like after that April hot start, he just like slowed down. Hey, you got 3 World Series. I won't complain.
Well, no, like it's kind of
I,
like
I
well,
won't
like the thing
complain.
is Giants are always trying to add that power back, but they just kind of has not found that free agent right to sign with the Giants or has not produced a bat like that, right? So
Yeah. Well, great first episode.
yeah, okay, that
Yeah.
sounds great, man. Thanks everybody for watching Saturday Sliders. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.